This is KGW News at 11.
Power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of a would-be assassin.
As the investigation into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump intensifies tonight, there's also growing calls to lower the political temperature. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Adams. The shooting at a campaign rally yesterday is being called a failure by the Secret Service. NBC's Jay Gray is in Butler, Pennsylvania, where the rally and the shooting took place, with the latest information.
His face bloody, fist raised.
Let me get my shoes on.
Former President Trump rushed from the stage after an assassination attempt. Chaos and panic. Now, a full day later, giving way to prayers and calls for unity. Mr. Trump writing on social media, "In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans." A message echoed by President Biden.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
The former president traveling to Milwaukee this afternoon ahead of the Republican National Convention as dual investigations intensify. The FBI focused on the alleged shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Agents saying he was armed with a semi-automatic rifle registered to his father and that explosive materials have been identified inside his car and home. While Homeland Security agents tried to determine how it could have happened, how a rooftop less than 150 yards from the rally was left open and accessible.
Coverage of this building and the roof was built in to the overall security plan, and coverage fell through the cracks, which means nobody ensured that coverage was actually in place, or it wasn't built into the overall plan at all.
We're also learning more about a firefighter in the crowd, Corey Comparator, killed in the crossfire. A husband and father of 2 young girls.
Corey died a hero. That Corey dove on his family to protect them last night.
2 others in the crowd were wounded and remain in the hospital tonight, their conditions upgraded from critical to stable. Jay Gray, NBC News, Butler, Pennsylvania.
And as those investigations into the attempted assassination continue, delegates, including those from here in Oregon, are arriving in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. Our Ashley Grahams has those details.
In just a few hours, tens of thousands of people will gather at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One of them is Gabriel Buehler, an Oregon delegate traveling from Washington County.
Being part of something that was prescribed by the founding fathers in the Electoral College in the Constitution, that's right up there. It takes the cake for me.
The convention begins just 2 days after a gunman attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump during a campaign rally.
Everybody's really happy and thankful to God that his life was spared and it wasn't taken from us. We all know that he has more to do to help this country.
Buehler blames hateful rhetoric and the media for the violence. On Sunday, Trump landed in Milwaukee. A member of his communications team posted this video. He pumps his fist in the air, walking off the plane. The former president saying in a post on Truth Social that he cannot allow a potential assassin to change his schedule or anything else.
We will continue to assess the security environment and adapt our security measures as appropriate.
The Secret Service assuring the public they're prepared and confident in the security plan they have in place.
There's a presence here everywhere, like everywhere. So I feel very safe.
As the convention begins, Buehler says it's truly an opportunity for everyone to come together.
It's about all of us. It's not just about which side you're on. And that's the problem that's going on right now.
While it's clear Donald Trump will be selected as the Republican presidential nominee this week, it's not clear who his running mate will be or if he will make that announcement at the convention. Now, Gabriel, the delegate you just heard from, told me they were asked to be seated early tomorrow morning, and he says it's possible it could be for that very announcement. John?
All right, Ashley, thank you for that reporting. Well, the investigation is only expanding as federal agents continue to search for answers. To get the latest updates, be sure to visit our website, kgw.com, or download our KGW app. In local headlines, one person is dead after drowning in the Tualatin River. It happened just before 5:45 this evening. First responders were called to Juergens Park following reports a man went underwater and never resurfaced. His body was found and taken to shore about a half hour later. The Washington County Sheriff's Office will identify the individual after they notify their next of kin. As investigations are underway after a pedestrian was killed by a car in Portland's Coley neighborhood. It happened after 3 this morning near the intersection of Northeast Lombard and Holman Street. Officers arrived to find the body of a woman dead on scene. The driver had left but did contact police. No arrests have been made. Anyone with information is asked to contact PPB.
As hot and dry as we've been, I would say just about anywhere across the Pacific Northwest is a concern, including areas east of or west of the Cascades.
Oregon's fire season only continues to grow. State fire officials tell us it's all hands on deck. To the latest now on the Larch Creek fire, which has forced the evacuation of nearly 1,000 households. The Wasco County Sheriff's Office says crews are focused on holding down fire lines during what were expected to be critical fire weather conditions today. Since the last update yesterday, the fire has grown about 4,000 acres to more than 18,000. It's now 8% contained. That's up from 3% yesterday. More than 900 people are battling the fire. And check out this photo giving a different perspective on the wildfire response. This is from this morning at the campsite set up for fire crews assigned to Larch Creek. East of Larch Creek, there were evacuations underway in a small community of Gilliam County. The Lone Rock Fire, about 3 miles north of that town, has quickly grown to more than 20,000 acres in size. That makes it the third largest active wildfire in the state of Oregon. That's after it was discovered just yesterday. The Oregon State Fire is sending a task force to assist local firefighters. A fast-growing wildfire in eastern Oregon is now forcing some evacuations in Grant and Harney counties. This morning, the Emergency Conflagration Act was invoked for the Falls Fire in Malheur National Forest. It's about 20 miles northeast of Riley. The fire was first discovered Wednesday morning, and it's since burned at least 56,000 acres of timber and tall grass. We spoke to a fire weather meteorologist today who said, with conditions like we're seeing, you should have a plan.
You know, regardless of whether you've got a wildfire in your immediate area or not, it's always good to have your affairs in order, have your necessary evacuation items just ready to go, know where everything's at, because you never know when a fire is going to start and how fast it's going to move towards your residence.
The Oregon State Fire Marshal has a team on the way to help out. Much of the forest and roads surrounding it are now closed off to the public. We'll have the detailed closure list on our website, kgw.com. And further out east, crews still struggling to get the Cow Valley fire under control. The blaze in northern Malheur County remains uncontained after burning through nearly 130,000 acres of dry brush and grass. Fire officials and firefighters across the state have one request as they dedicate themselves to battling all of these fires.
Mother Nature is going to be bringing some potential for thunderstorms over the next few days. So firefighters already have their hands full as it is with the lightning threat. So anything that folks can do to limit their creation of fires on the landscape is going to help those firefighters out tremendously.
More resources have been ordered and are on the way. Well, turning now to weather, let's take a look out over Portland tonight as things have started to cool off as the sun has set. Let's check in with meteorologist Joe Ranieri with what our fire danger is going to look like this week coming up. Joe, are we going to see any cooler weather over the next few days to help out here? You know,
I have a couple of days on the 70 forecast with temperatures below 90, but that's about it. When I say below 90, it's still going to be in the mid to the upper 80s. Now, some of the advisories that we are seeing throughout the east side of the state have expired just about an hour ago. ago, there were some heat advisories throughout parts of the central and eastern side of the state. Now we're just seeing this gray color. It's the air stagnation advisory. Still going to be dealing with some of that smoke and haze over the next really couple weeks until we start to see kind of a major change in the weather pattern. Red flag advisory in place over in southern Oregon near Medford. Now, this map is interesting, John, because you might remember a couple of weeks ago, we were just talking about how the drought conditions were looking pretty heading into the wildfire season. Now things are changing pretty quick. This is what happens when you don't see a drop of rain over 15 days. And that's basically what we've seen. In fact, it's been longer. Last time we've seen a measurable amount of rain, you have to go back a month. But so far this month of July, not a drop of rain. And unfortunately, more of the same. We're going to continue that dry weather pattern, not only dry, but hot as well. Hot July weather pattern continues the next several days. And as we look into the early part of the week, highs for Tuesday will be in the upper 90s. And then again, no big cool down. The interesting thing is we have a chance, John, to see the hottest July on record. Right now we're averaging with daytime highs the low 90s. And it looks like that trend will continue heading into the next couple of weeks, basically. I don't see a major cool down the rest of July. I'll talk more about that in details in a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. Things have